Hello, and welcome to Penny Thoughts, a series where I voice a handful of thoughts I have about different things. Now, I would like to point out that this is not meant to be a review, nor any form of critical analysis. This is just a way for me to voice a handful of opinions I have about different things. And with all that said, hope you enjoy the video. Bum 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 bum. I really like the game's art style. Its simplicity makes it feel iconic, but also I feel like that this works in the game's favor because the game is set underground with bugs being like knights. I could see a more serious art style making the game and its setting look a bit silly. I wish the three Dreamers had their own boss fight. I did find it a bit of a shame that you don't fight them. I think it could have been really cool if the three Dreamers each had their own boss battle and this serves as their last stand. I understand that there are lore implications for the Dreamers not standing up for themselves and letting you defeat them, but personally I thought it felt like a bit of an anticlimax, and I just wish that there was one final fight with the Dreamers, with them upholding their duty, even though they don't want to do it. I just thought it could have made the characters a bit more compelling. Saying that, they're all really interesting though. I really like the characters in Hollow Knight. Everyone feels so thought out and unique. It almost feels like before they started writing the dialogue for these characters, or even started voicing them, they took the time to think about each one and gave each of them their own story and their own place in the world, which may sound obvious or may sound like something that you would be expected to do as a storyteller, but every character just feels really thought out. They've all got their own little quirks that make you appreciate them. I feel most comfortable describing Hollow Knight's gameplay as easy to learn and hard to master. The controls are pretty simple. It mostly just boils down to moving left and right, jumping and doing attacks. But it works really well for the game and honestly doesn't feel janky at all. There's a clear, defined rhythm to fights in the game. There's something beautifully complex about Hollow Knight's simple controls and the way the game feels to play. I really like the areas in Hollow Knight. Every area feels unique and has its own distinct aesthetic, which helps to separate each area and makes them feel like proper living, breathing environments, their own ecosystems. I find it really cool how on one end of the map you have this really green foresty like area, and on the complete other side of the map you have this massive cave area with these shiny pinky purple crystals, and it's just things like that that really help to make this world feel alive. My two favourite areas in the game have to be the White Palace and the Abyss. The Abyss is this really dark and foreboding and scary place that's just filled with dead bodies, and I suppose it technically isn't life, but there are these souls, these shades or shadowy figures that are just trying to cling on to any life they can find down there, which always happens to be you. And just thinking about if you got stuck in the Abyss within the context of the rest of the world, it has some really terrifying implications because the Abyss is sealed off, and even still, no one is coming to find you. No one would be coming to get you because everyone in the world has either gone insane or is dead. So you're on your own. The only safe place you can go is this lighthouse, which has been abandoned anyway. And it's a really creepy place, and that's why I love it so much. And with the White Palace is an optional area. One that you don't have to go to. You can completely skip the area in your playthrough. You don't have to go there. And it does such a good job at showing that it really embodies the idea of a secret place that you're either not meant to know about or not even allowed to be in. You definitely feel a disconnect between your character and the rest of the inhabitants of the White Palace, as it almost feels like they're on another plane as you. And the thing that's really interesting about the White Palace is I'm pretty sure there are little to no enemies in the White Palace. Vast majority of things that can hurt you in the White Palace are just environmental hazards. Feels like it's this secret place, but not hostile. It's a tough place, but not a hostile one.